is that they're struggling to find more clients. What I found though is that most of the time they try something for a week, then move on to something else. And so today I want to focus on how to set up your marketing foundation to bring clients in on autopilot. Hey Boudoir photographers, are you ready to be totally booked out with high-paying clients? I'm Tracy Lynn, and I went from side hustle photographer to running $1 million boudoir photography business, working just 30 hours a month. That's right, just 30 hours a month. On this podcast, I tell you how I did it and how you can too. Hey there, and welcome back to the Sustainable Freedom with Boudoir Photography podcast. I talk to a lot of photographers every day, and one of the biggest things these photographers are struggling with is finding more clients. What I found is that most of the time they try something for a week or two, then they move on to something else and try it for a month, then maybe they jump to a different marketing strategy for another few weeks before they try something new. They never really stick with one thing. Something that I've always done is focused on, let's just say, Instagram. I nailed that strategy there, one that I can keep up with. And then once I feel very confident in that strategy and I know how to keep it going, that's when I decide to add another strategy, maybe blogging. I implement that strategy, have it in my arsenal, know how to keep it going, and add something else. For example, email marketing. And then I keep mastering each strategy to the best of my ability until I implement a full marketing plan. I think the issue most photographers struggle with is they don't stick to a strategy long enough to know how to make that strategy a part of their marketing plan. And that's what I want to talk about today, your 30-day boudoir photography business marketing foundation. So let's start with the importance of a foundation. I talk about it a lot with pricing and business, but it's just as important with marketing as well. Without building a solid foundation, you're kind of just hoping things work. You won't have a strategy behind your marketing plan. So I'd like to start with my Forever Booked Out method, which I teach in both Forever Booked Out and Six Figures Simplified. So most photographers, what they do is they have their entire marketing strategy on one platform. It might be Instagram, it might be Facebook, it might be Facebook ads, and then just a teensy-weensy sliver of maybe your website. That's all that they're relying on. But what I want to ask you is what happens if, let's say, Instagram, that's your main marketing strategy. What happens if that's taken down? Then you don't have a strategy to rely on. So then you are just relying on your teensy weensy little strategy of your website that may not be a full strategy. Instead, what you want to do is create a strategy that puts you in front of everyone in all the places. Anywhere they might look, they are seeing you. So that could be definitely your website, email marketing, events, social media, referrals, Google, SEO. Like anywhere that they're looking, they see you so that they think that you are the only option. That's what we want to do for you. And I understand that that feels very overwhelming, but let's break it down in this episode. So the first thing you want to do is nail down your ideal client. That means that you need to know your client inside and out. So that could be knowing where they shop, knowing who they are, knowing what they're doing for fun, how they're dressing, all the things. One thing that I really like to tell you guys about is how I know my ideal client so well in St. Louis. I can literally see her walking down the street and I'm like, oh, that's my ideal client. She would be perfect in my studio. I know that she would spend the money that I need to make, and I just know her that well. But I didn't just know her overnight. Like, it took me some time to get to know her, to figure out who she is as a person. And you need to know that knowing who your ideal client is, it is going to take some time, and she might change over the years. I will say that my ideal client from 2017 is not necessarily the same person she is right now, and that's okay. Your marketing strategy will expand, but for now, let's learn who she is right now. The second thing you want to do is build your high converting website. A high converting website is a website that takes a lead, turns them into a client really quickly. It's going to take your lead on a journey through your website. So that means that they land on your homepage, they scroll through, catching the main points, and then you're going to tell them that they need to go next to, let's say, the About page. They read on that, and then they go to the Investment page until they make it all the way through your website, learning everything they need to know before they book a session. At that point, they're going to do one of two things. They're going to either book their session or book a consult, or they're going to join your email list so that you can continue to nurture them. So that high converting website is so, so important, specifically for step 3. So with step 3, we're going to focus on your traffic drivers. Traffic drivers are things that you're doing in your business, marketing strategies in your business to send your leads to your website. That could be email marketing, because with an ROI of $38 for every dollar spent, I do think that's an old stat, but email marketing is still a great investment of your time. It's still working. It's still something that we need to focus on. That would include a welcome sequence. Well, first of all, it would include a lead magnet. The lead magnet might be a downloadable guide, a dollar amount off on their session, all kinds of different options that you have. Then from that lead magnet, they get put into a welcome sequence. The welcome sequence is a 3 to 5 email sequence that's going to help them get to know you in a way that's going to help them want to book a session. And then after that, after they go through the welcome sequence, they're going to be put into the nurture sequence indefinitely. So the nurture sequence is a weekly email. That's my recommendation. Weekly, you could do bi-weekly if you wanted to, but it is a very consistent email sequence that you're going to put them in, and it's going to answer specific questions. There's a pretty big strategy behind this email sequence, but it's going to answer these questions that your ideal client has, so that eventually they're going to book a session. Another very important strategy within this email sequence is if you are nurturing your leads effectively very, very often, it's going to help you sell out your Black Friday sales, your annual sales, like any kind of sale or giveaway or promotion that you're doing within your email list. Because you are nurturing them weekly, because they are seeing you in their inbox very frequently, it's going to help them go ahead and book a session with you when you're running a promotion. So those are very important things to note. If they don't book within the welcome sequence, they will more than likely book during the promotions that you run when they're on your email newsletter. Then we have SEO and blogging. Clients who come from Google are the ones who do their research and they know what their investment will be. That's basically like they have their credit card out when they find you. So SEO, blogging, both are super, super important to make sure that you rank on Google. Social media, it's good for visibility, and it's a way to let your clients know that you are definitely still around. I do think that it's very, very important. I think Instagram is extremely important for photographers because this platform is made for us. It is a visual platform. So referrals, client and business referrals are one of the very best ways to book tons of ideal clients. I love them. They are typically, especially client referrals are typically already prepared to spend at least what their friend or family member that referred them to you spent. They're already prepared for that. Business referrals are great because those businesses are already serving your ideal client. So they're going to send clients that are already your ideal client. So they're going to be willing to spend what you need them to spend in order to have a profitable business. And then events. To book clients immediately and get a significant boost to your email list, I love bridal fairs. I talk about them pretty often on this podcast, but there's also networking events and even hosting events in your own studio. Hey, I write a newsletter every week where I cover photography business, marketing, strategy, industry happenings, client wins and celebrations, and so much more. Join today at rebrand.ly/newsletter to get ongoing advice and help with running your boudoir business and getting the freedom you deserve. I will, of course, link this in the show notes. All right, now that you know what to do, you're probably overwhelmed. Like, where do you start and how long is this going to take? Now, I totally get it. It can feel very, very overwhelming. I 100% understand. And that's why I've broken this down into stages. So, for example, step 1 would be knowing your ideal client and learning your messaging. Now, like I said earlier, your ideal client is going to evolve over the years, but who she is right now, gonna matter. And then you can keep learning more and more about her as you go along. Step 2, branding. We'll call that 1 day. You can usually do that in Canva pretty easily. Step 3, a website revamp or new implementation. I would say 2 to 7 days. I have a website template. You can see that in the show notes as well. This website template, a lot of my clients have implemented this template in 3 days or less. Then step 4 is SEO and Google Business Profile. I would say that's about 2 days or so if you sit down and do it. Then we'll go into fast cash strategies. I would say about 7 days. So within fast cash strategies, at least in my 6-figure simplified program and Forever Booked Out, I have client referral plans, business referral programs, bridal fairs and vendor fairs, networking events, hosting events, mini sessions as a marketing strategy, influencer marketing, and model calls. And in my long-term strategies, I have long game strategy, which is my blogging strategy. This blogging strategy is the way that I get between 3,000 and 5,000 views on my website every single month. Then I have slow burn sales, which is my email marketing strategy. Then the strategic annual sale, and of course, social media marketing and engagement. So once these things are implemented, then it's just maintenance. So I want you to understand that you are building your foundations first. That's why it's going to take 30 days straight. So if you can't work all 30 days, 8 hours a day, then understand it might take 2 months for you, but this is 30 working days. So don't get frustrated with yourself if you don't get this done in 30 days. And the other thing is some people work more quickly than others and they can master the strategy quicker. Others feel like they work slowly and they won't be able to finish. It's totally fine. Whichever one you are, be patient with yourself, give yourself grace, and know that you will get it done. And then once it's done, once it's implemented, you just need to maintain it. When I was really focused on this strategy in my boudoir business at the moment, I'm not so focused on it right now. My boudoir business at this point is pretty much automated. I am doing a few big changes in the next coming months, and I will be telling you about them, releasing the information soon. But right now, I just want to let you know that right now, at this point, when I am recording this video, when I'm recording this podcast in April, my boudoir business stays booked out without any help. Like, I don't have to maintain it at all. But back when I was doing a lot of maintenance, when I was staying on top of everything, and going forward starting in May, I will be focusing more on maintaining the business, maintaining the boudoir marketing strategy. And so when I do that, there will be 4 to 8 new blog posts per month. There will be a weekly newsletter that is brand new, and there will be daily Instagram. So I would say in the coming months, I will be working on marketing strategy in my boudoir business about 2 to 3 days per month minimum. So understand that once you have this implemented, you will be able to maintain it without so much work. But it is something that you have to maintain, and it will take a few days. And then you can go back to the fun stuff, the photography and all that, but you do have to maintain your marketing strategy every single month, no matter what. So when I say that I can do that in 3 days, that means I'm writing all the blog posts in those 3 days. I'm writing all the email marketing strategy in 3 days, and I'm planning out my posts for Instagram and Facebook in those 3 days. And then after that, I will be going back to regular business hours, like taking care of clients, photographing clients, all the things. Now, if you only get one thing from this episode, I do want you to understand that once you implement this foundation, your life gets so much easier. This foundation is how you can spend less time working and more time actually enjoying life. I implemented this in my business in 17 and 18 through a lot of trial and error, lots and lots of time making mistakes and figuring it out. But by 2019, I was working at 30 hours a month and traveling full time with my now husband because of the work that I did in 2017, 2018. I don't want you to have to work as hard as I did. I don't want you to have to throw spaghetti at the wall trying to figure it out the way that I did. That's why I created my program 6 Figure Simplified. And if you want to know exactly how to implement these things and exactly how to implement my 1-day monthly maintenance, well, you need to be inside. The cool thing about this program, it helps you book without paid ads, annoying Facebook groups, model calls, or any other gimmicky strategy. My photographers inside, they're growing their business at an insane rate, and they still have the time and financial freedom that they wanted so that they can spend more time with their families without working so hard. They're creating this for their lives in the way that they want. And if you want to change your life and business for the better, be sure to DM me 6FS on Instagram. You can find me at It's Tracy Lynn. We can chat, no pressure, and just see if it's right for you. I promise you, you're going to love it inside. This group program is my baby because I've seen the result that it is getting, and these photographers are achieving amazing things, and I want to help you do it too. I'll link my Instagram and the program in the show notes, and if you have any questions at all, please reach out. Thank you for listening to this episode of Sustainable Freedom with Boudoir Photography. Please be sure to rate and follow so that you never miss an episode. They drop every Thursday, and they're always full of super actionable information for you to apply right now in your boudoir business. Until then, make your next shoot your best shoot.